Hey everybody, welcome to Geeking Out Ninjas, where we are here to geek out. Craig, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, Jeremiah. I am doing okay. I feel
Yeah,
like before we get into everything, we should do the
okay.
pre-cap.
Sure.
Let's
Tell us
let's
what's
do
going on.
let's do the pre-cap. It is a long pre-cap. Um, are you excited about Marvel's What If? Maybe
Yes.
you're excited about the book of Boba Fett. Are you afraid your old phone, laptop, or smart gadget could stop working later this week?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to talk about Google's personal safety app. And we are going to talk about Amazon's gigantic device event. Get excited. There is tons and tons of stuff we're going to talk about. So, what's new with you, Jeremiah?
There's all
Oh, Jeremiah, I
for
already
like
lost Jeremiah.
I have a lot that's new with me. I'm back.
Jeremiah's back.
You don't have anything in here for what's new.
I don't have anything in here for what's new. I mean, I can throw something in there. I have
Well,
one thing that's what's new, but
I'll let you we'll save that and let me do one and then we'll come back to you. Is that all right?
let's do. I don't know if we should talk about B. B may not be on the up and up.
Okay. Well, we'll bypass that one. I was going to start with Rayna's adventure.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is my 18-year-old college student,
Daughter.
still living at home, daughter. She is right now at UTSA in the School of Architecture,
Go Road Runners.
working, go Roadrunners,
Beep
working
beep.
towards a degree in, she wants to do interior design,
Yep.
like your sister.
My sister does interior design.
And this afternoon, she was working on a project that
That's
has
always
taken
good.
her a lot of brain power and a lot of work.
Yes.
And she cut her hand
Off.
using, well, no, not quite.
Oh, thought this was going to turn
She,
into a real interesting story.
she cut her hand, her finger, and then her palm. And turns out she did hit an artery.
Oh no.
So it wouldn't stop bleeding. So she did go to the emergency room, and
I
they had to do a shot to stop it. And then they
shot.
glued it shut because it wasn't deep enough for stitches. Unfortunately,
Interesting.
that would have been kind of cool, but no, they glued it back together.
So how did they stop the artery from bleeding internally?
So they gave her a shot where the artery was that caused the artery to constrict, which stopped the bleeding.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what they did.
I didn't either till this evening. So she had that, and then of course, because of this horrific project in her first semester, she's rethinking what her major should be. So um, I don't know what she's going to do, if she's going to fight through this or decide to change her major, but she is having major consideration now.
Was she cutting like foam core board or something?
Well, covered in plaster.
Oh, okay.
She made some kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm very
So
familiar with these things. I helped my sister with a couple projects here and there. So I'm very, very aware of the weird things that they make you
yeah,
build in interior design school. I mean, you have to build a lot of models. But my sister had to, I guess sometimes they just want you to be creative. So she made this like LED like light project thing, but I had to
uh-huh.
do all the wiring for her back then.
Okay.
Uh, I think she kept it as decoration for a really long time, and I think eventually she probably just threw it away. But uh,
What?
yeah, it was. I mean, it was interesting. It was like uh, an a I can't even remember what that like a terracotta pot that's turned upside down with like these plastic tubes like glued to the top, but the plastic tubes were like or I guess rubber tubes, more like rubber tubes, and they were slightly opaque. So they had like my brain cannot think of the words what I'm trying to say. So the description is terrible. But then I had glued like the LEDs and all that stuff. So all the different ones lit, all the different tubes lit up. So
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
That's interesting. She's reached out. Rayna has reached out to your sister before. I'm gonna have her reach out to her again.
Do it.
To talk about this. One of her instructors or professors or whatever you want to call them did tell her that she thinks too much like an artist right now and not like a architect.
Yeah, it's a very fine line with the way I think architects slash interior designers have to work, because you have to be artistic, but you also have to be very like by the book to some
Right.
extent. At the same time, you have to there's structure and there's rules, and you have to follow all of that stuff. So it's a very fine balance. You have to kind of balance both of them together.
Yeah. So we'll see what she decides to do. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on the Rayna's decisions, because
This the
everybody
saga.
everybody really, yeah, everybody wants to know what's going on with her. So what's new with you?
Mine's not as interesting as almost dying from doing college homework.
Well,
But yeah, so I bought a new router a while back, the Firewall Gold.
right.
I talked about it maybe a month or so ago, and
It blew up.
no, everything's
Okay.
working really well for a while, and then like a week or two ago, all of a sudden, I kept noticing like the internet would drop out, and I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Spectrum.
After, yeah, and after a while, I got tired of the issues, and I was like, okay, I should probably actually try and figure out what's going on. Because as an IT person, I don't want to like come home and like work on my own problems.
Right.
So I kind of just like, nah, maybe it'll clear up on its own. I'll do some restarts or something. Maybe that'll fix it. And then after that didn't work, I was like, okay, I really actually have to dig into this one and figure it out. So figured out that so this is what I did on my own. I figured out that the firewall itself was having an issue where it would drop like several packets
Mhm.
every 5 minutes, exactly every 5 minutes, or 300 seconds is how the router really sees it. And couldn't figure out why it would do that. So the good part is that I was able to get a hold of Firewall's support, and they got back to me within like, I don't know, like an hour or two,
Oh wow.
which I was kind of surprised about. Because I just sent them an email. And they email back and they're like, hey, it looks like you have a network loop. And I'm like, going in there, I'm like, I definitely don't have a network loop, blah, blah, blah. I'm running this other thing over here that makes it look like it's a network loop. And if you don't know what a network loop is, it's essentially like, say you were to plug a cable essentially into the same device
Right.
from one port in the device to another port in the same device. And then it's like trying to send traffic to itself, and it's just like going around and around.
In a loop.
And eventually that will completely take down your network because there's just so much traffic that gets created by that. It's insane. Um, and I was like, it's not that. And he was like, okay, well, let me look into this a little bit more. And I think they finally figured out the issue like later that evening. Um, and you give them remote support or remote access to your router, which
Right.
makes it a lot easier, so they don't have to have like computer access or anything like that. Um, with a special code and all that stuff. And so they got access to it and figured out what the issue was. And they're like, yeah, we need you to talk to your ISP, your internet provider, and have them see if they can change this. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, there's no way they're going to change that. It's not going to happen. So I contact Google Fiber, and they're like, yeah, we can't change that. And I'm like, yeah, no, duh. Um, So I was like, great, like what the heck? I cannot live with this. So I reached out to a friend of mine who is really smart when it comes to networking stuff, and I'd kind of send him the same information that Firewalla sent me, and I was like, hey, what do you like? Is there a workaround we can do here, like to make this work? And
And
he
by the
was like,
way, your really smart friend is not me, in case everybody was wondering.
it's not Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Um, and so I reached out to him, and he was like, well, you can try this. Or do you have access to like the ISP's equipment or admin access to the ISP's equipment, which a lot of times is pretty easy to get. But I haven't tried to get access to the one device that Google has in my house. And I don't know if I want to go through the trouble at this point in time. So I was like, well, I can't do that. So I had to turn what's called IPv6 off on my router.
Right.
And once I did that, everything was copacetic. It was back to normal.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't want to like get into the nitty gritty of it because people probably won't care, but it's resolved for now, temporarily, until I can figure out like a permanent fix where IPv6 actually works. But it's not necessary at the moment. But yeah, I should get it. So we'll see.
I think I know who your really smart friend is.
You probably do.
I think I'm
probably
pretty
talked to him, met him before.
I'm pretty sure I have, and he is really smart.
Probably
really smart.
One of the smartest guys I know.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Please tell me that you have watched What If.
If it makes you feel better, I have watched What If.
All of it?
I have not watched any of What If. You said, tell me you have watched it. I told you I watched it.
Okay. So it was getting kind of boring there in the middle.
Uh-oh.
Right. There's a couple episodes that I probably could have done without, but it's building to the bigger story.
I did hear one thing about What If. It's apparently Tony Stark dies in like every episode. He's like he's like the Kenny of South Park. Right. Someone killed Tony.
Yeah, I think he has died in all of them. Which I really, to be honest, hadn't really been paying that much attention to. Whether he dies or not. I mean,
yeah.
I guess
it's not necessary. Like, it's not a huge thing for the story.
Right. But now that I think about it, yes, I believe he has died. But Wednesday's episode, September 29th, was finally the culmination of all this building.
Dun, dun, dun.
About the multiverse and just, I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know. You need to watch.
We have been watching other shows. I could technically have time for it if I wanted to. I'll be honest.
You could.
I come home.
I know you could.
I come home for lunch and I rewatch for like the fourth or fifth time Friday Night Lights during my lunchtime.
You like that show, huh?
I love that show. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're not a huge football fan, right?
No, I don't. Yeah, the football I could care less about, but I like the characters on the show. I think the characters
drama.
They're really well written, and
my wife loves that show. I think she's watched it a few times.
Yeah, I think I watched it the original run by myself, and then I think I watched it with my wife, and I probably watched it again at some point. And now I'm watching it again during my lunchtime. So, I mean, technically, I could probably fit in What If I wanted to, but
you probably could.
I get enjoyment out of Friday Night Lights, and really, that's what I need sometimes. I just need to.
I get it.
Enjoy.
I get it. Yeah, I watched the most recent episode with my son, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Venom opens Friday.
Yeah, which is it's the shortest comic book movie I think of all time, which is interesting. It's like an hour and a half long. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which here I kind of like that. Like, if you can tell your story in an hour and a half, why make it 2 hours long? Just to make it 2 hours long. I feel like a lot of movies do that nowadays, where it's like, hey, we're just going to make this 2 hours long just because that for some reason is the time we need to make a movie nowadays.
That's the standard right now for whatever reason. Yeah.
Hour 40 minutes, man. That's like the sweet spot for me. Unless your movie is like really good, and it just like feels like it flies by, then that last like 20 minutes can sometimes feel like a drag.
I think that's because you grew up watching Disney movies, which are pretty much 90 minutes.
It could be, but also a lot of other good movies are like an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes long. Not to say that 2 hour runtimes are like a new thing, but there's more of them now than I think there ever has been in the history
Really?
of cinema. Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a lot of movies out there now. Like every streaming service makes their own movies, it seems like now.
Yeah, they're usually not good.
No, there's a lot of content. Doesn't mean it's quality content, but there's a lot of content.
I'd almost rather go back to the way it was when Netflix was like just airing movies and TV shows that they didn't make. Because it was like,
there's been some great stuff that they've come to do.
There's been some things. I feel like it's like a 1 to 100 ratio with Netflix on like good stuff versus bad stuff.
Yeah, because they create so much now.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what their green light process is, but I feel like is that character going to be alive at the end? No, perfect, green light it.
Right. Amazing. Well, speaking of streaming and TV and movies, the book of Boba Fett is coming December 29th. I even wore
they made it before the end of the year.
I even wore my Star Wars shirt. It just happened to be a coincidence, but no, that's pretty cool. I'm excited. I don't know that we talked about this. I forget now when The Mandalorian was.
It's been a few months now.
Yeah,
I think it was earlier this year, right?
I think so. I want to say we did talk about it on the show.
Here's the deal. Time doesn't really make sense anymore to me since the pandemic, so everything just feels like it was forever ago.
Exactly.
But no, so I think the cool thing about the Book of Boba Fett is, for the longest time, Star Wars nerds, fans, people who liked Star Wars,
nerds.
Like Boba Fett was always this character like, oh my God, he is the coolest character. And it's like, nah, man, like he didn't really do anything in the trilogy. So the original trilogy. So to see him actually maybe kind of be the badass everybody expected him to be or wanted him to be is kind of cool. So I think that's what I'm most looking forward to is like, is he going to live up to what everybody's expectations are of what they think the character could be. And he kind of did in that one episode of The Mandalorian that was directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
Who is from Texas, by the way.
Yep.
And his studio is in Austin. But he is, I think, directing all of the book of Boba Fett. So,
is he?
Yeah, so that should be interesting to see him kind of carry on and be like the guiding light of that character.
Huge Robert Rodriguez fan. Love the dude. Love his movies. It's just, to me, it's so fascinating, the mythos that the Star Wars universe has, and even in its beginnings in the late 70s, how so many characters were introduced that were supposed to have a backstory, didn't.
Yeah.
Right. And so
kind of just implied.
Yeah. And so we now get hopefully what is going to be his badassery.
Yeah.
And have you ever watched the holiday special?
I have never had the opportunity to watch that great piece of cinema. I
don't know why or how. I watched it recently.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's terrible, but there is the Boba Fett cartoon in it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It doesn't give much information, but it introduced the character before Empire Strikes Back. And to me, I just find it so fascinating how George Lucas had all these characters in mind. And I mean, I can only assume that he one day wanted this to happen. All these stories be created from it. numerous books, comic books, now
Yeah.
TV series. It's pretty cool now that we are getting this kind of content. At least I feel it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Pretty exciting.
It is.
So Netflix has acquired its first video game studio.
Yes.
We did talk about Netflix becoming a video game company, which does make sense. Looks like it's just gonna be phones still.
Right.
And this company, Night School Studio, indie game developer, which you're an indie game developer as long as you're not like a gigantic studio.
Right.
So it's a really broad term. It's kind of interesting. They're only going to make completely free games, no ads, no options for in-app purchases.
Right now.
For now. Who knows what things will change in the future, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's another step in the direction that they want to go. I'm curious if any of this stuff is going to be any good, or if it's going to be like a lot of their TV shows and movies right now.
Well, and you know what's interesting? So, what the purchases of, they've worked with this company before. Apparently, they gave it to rights to create a Stranger Things puzzle, I believe, puzzle game
Back in 2018.
Yeah. So Netflix has been aware of them. They know what they're doing, and what the games appear, I guess, in the Netflix app. They're testing it in Poland right now, from what I gather.
Yeah.
In August, and so the games are listed in the app, and so when someone says I want that game, it then takes them to the Play Store to download it to their Android device.
Oh, so it just redirects you.
It just redirects you. So I mean, is it really a whole lot that they're? I guess it's almost like Netflix is kind of advertising it rather than Facebook or TikTok or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens after they're acquired, if they ever come to America with video games.
And why in Poland? Kind of
market. Yeah, it's an interesting market, right? I don't know what the thought is behind that.
And then they're also going to go later this year, rolling out to Spain and Italy. I mean,
Those
I guess
are
there's
the three top choices that I would choose if I was rolling out to markets.
Right. Poland, Spain, and Italy.
Maybe those are, and I don't know this for sure, but maybe they're big mobile game countries.
They could be. I don't know that Poland's big in anything, but it could be mobile games.
Maybe. Who knows?
What do they spend there? Euros?
Yeah, I don't know.
Polanders?
I don't know. Definitely not that.
I don't know what their money is called.
I don't either, and I don't want to Google it right now. We have too much to talk about.
All right, too much to talk about. Let's move on.
So this is an interesting one. This is a story that Jeremiah brought up. So apparently there will be certain devices that could stop working starting September 30th, which is tomorrow, or in the case of you listening to this, it's in
yesterday.
The past.
Yeah.
So this,
so
I don't know. Yeah. So there are certificates that allow your device to communicate to other services with encryption. So it just kind of keeps your data safe on the transit between device and server. So it's interesting, the devices that are part of this. So it's really old Android devices, versions Android 7.1.1 and earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you're not still using that. Older versions of Mac OS from 2016 and older Windows XP with Service Pack 3.
But there are, you know what? There is quite a few people using XP still,
I sure
which is
hope not.
interesting.
I sure hope
No, people don't want to move forward with Windows 7, 8, 10, or soon here 11.
those are the people whose identities have definitely been stolen. I can almost guarantee you that is not a secure place to be if you're on Windows XP Service Pack 3. So another devices that are also affected, PlayStations that haven't been upgraded to newer firmware. So if you haven't updated
Right.
your firmware on your PlayStation 3 or possibly like I don't know, like the PSP or something, then you're affected. But I think as long as you are up to date on that, you should be fine.
And I think most people are. I just found it kind of interesting looking at it like, oh, I'm sure there are going to be people out there that haven't upgraded their devices and are going to come on. And I'm sure they listen to us and they're going to find out on Thursday that their devices stopped working.
I mean, they'll technically still work. A lot of times, especially like a computer, you will just have to like accept like the certificate is a bunch of there's usually like warning messages that come up and
Oh, yeah.
to freak you out that this is no longer a trusted certificate and bad things could be happening to you. But
And most
yeah.
people I know always update their certificates anyways without even looking or knowing. It just kind of happens.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is going to be probably a smaller number of devices than the article leads on, just because I think the percentage of people using these devices are probably very small.
Sure.
But if you're one of them, you should probably upgrade to something else.
Yes, definitely.
It's time.
It's been time for quite some time.
It's past time. So this one I'm excited about. So I'm gonna steal it from you, Jeremiah.
Take it.
So Google has on their Pixel devices has an app called Personal Safety. I have used it before. It kind of lets you set emergency alerts up for other people. So you can share your location with people. You can share your status during emergency, like maybe a hurricane or different things that go on, so people know where you are, know that you're okay, things like that. They will also, so this is kind of cool. So they have a safety check. Let Pixel know your situation and when to check that you're safe. So the reason is like walking alone, going for a run, taking transportation, hiking, and you can write your own things. And then you set a duration, like how long do you think you're going to be gone? And if that doesn't happen and you don't check in by the time that time is expired, then it'll alert someone else, hey, this person hasn't checked in. It'll be your emergency contact that you set in the app. So they're kind of expanding what this app will do. So they're now giving you the ability to choose what happens when you tap the power button 5 times in quick succession. So I know Apple has a similar situation where it'll like kind of lock your device down. But this will enable the emergency SOS feature. And you can configure it to call emergency services in your area if you want to. You can share your real-time status update on your location, not just location, but location, battery life, phone calls that you've had recently. And now you can start a video recording that will be automatically backed up to the cloud. So I think this could come in handy quite a bit. So during the setup, you can also choose whether or not you want to sound an alarm as part of your emergency SOS, or if you want it to be sent discreetly. And so the big addition here is obviously the five quick presses to allow you to do whatever you want. But the other big one is videos.
Yes, videos.
So it's going to start doing video recordings up to 45 minutes in length. The videos are automatically backed up to your Google account So obviously, if you want it backed up automatically, you'll have to have an active internet connection. But once it's uploaded, the app itself will either automatically share the video recording with your emergency contact or do nothing, depending on what you choose to do. And you have, so if you do set that up and you press that button 5 seconds and you don't respond back within 5 seconds, like it'll have prompts on the screen like, do you want to cancel this? Like, did you accidentally do this? It'll start that SOS being sent out to your friend, emergency contact, but then it'll also start recording the video from your phone. Once the SOS begins, you will see a UI on the screen with several buttons and a camera viewfinder. The video recordings can only be stopped once the 45-minute limit is reached or the user taps stop while the phone is unlocked. So if you're recording that video and your phone is locked, no one can stop that video except for you if you have like a PIN code that nobody knows, or your fingerprint or your face recognition is turned on. So if you're really in an emergency situation where you want to make sure this video gets shared with everybody, you can make sure that it gets uploaded and shared to that emergency contact. So if someone does kill you in the process, maybe you have that evidence with you in the process, or you get mugged or something, you can record it, possibly if you have enough time or the wherewithal to press that button 5 times real fast. So once the video is done recording, you have 15 seconds to decide whether or not you want the recording to be shared with your emergency contact automatically. So obviously, if you hit stop or cancel and you don't want it sent, it's not going to send it. But if you don't press anything, essentially like a dead man switch. So if you don't press anything, it's just going to send the video automatically after 15 seconds. Those videos are stored for 7 days in the cloud.
Right.
And after that, they're automatically deleted. Before it's deleted, you have the option to share that link, to other people if you want to. I think this is going to be interesting. I mean, as much, and I don't want to get like political here, but as much as we've seen with abuses of power, and some people being discriminated against in certain ways, I think this could really be a game changer in allowing people to record things that they may not normally be able to record, and have it stopped or shared automatically, things like that. So someone can't like grab your phone away from you, hit stop and delete the video. It would be impossible. If you started it from that 5 power button presses, no one would be able to stop this unless they had physical access to your phone, like they could unlock it somehow. So I think that gives you a lot of power and a lot of safety.
I agree, but as you're saying this last bit, I mean, that could have a lot of legal ramifications too. If you're trying to blackmail someone, or you get this and you share it, I mean, it's just.
I mean, you could do that with just recording a video, though. If you're just trying to blackmail somebody,
I mean, I guess you can, but this way, it's automatically going out. You literally have no way to stop it necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, you have it. You have a way to stop it.
I don't know.
It's only being shared with a contact. It's not being like uploaded online or anything like that.
To TikTok or anything like that. But no, it's a pretty nice safety feature. I will say that it's interesting that it's only for Pixel right now. I'm assuming eventually that'll move to the rest of Android devices. I don't know.
I don't know. This the personal safety app is Pixel exclusive. I don't know if anybody else can use it. I mean, it's one of the many features that I think make the Pixel phones, like, bar none, the best Android phones out there. I know this seems like a pretty basic feature, but it's like pile on all the features that it has that are exclusive, like some of the phone dialer app functions, like being able to sit on hold for you while you're on a call, are amazing. The phone call screening app settings, Like I could not live without that at this point. It does such a good job of filtering out unwanted calls or spam calls. Um, and also being able to essentially screen a call. So if someone calls me, I can literally hit screen call on the phone screen, and it's gonna send them to a Google Voice recording, and I can listen into it if I hit the volume up button,
Right.
or I can just watch the transcription come through
I love that.
and just know, hey, is this somebody I actually want to talk to? Because I've had a couple times where it's like most people that you don't want to talk to just hang up right away,
Hmm.
which is great. If it's a recording, you can mark it as spam right there. But if it's a real person, usually real people are going to respond and say, hey, I need to talk to Craig, or I'm so and so, you know. So it's a really super useful feature to have, and it really helps me like cut out the noise. And you can set it to like drop calls that are definitely spam, or they're private calls, or this and that. There's a bunch of different ways to configure it how you want to, but I love that feature so much.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Well, let's move on to I forgot. I didn't have this article pulled up at all.
Awkward.
GM's, I know. I must have skipped it for some reason, unless you put it in there late.
I think I put
GM's,
it in after you pulled up all the links.
because there's a bunch.
There are a bunch.
BrightDrop starts production of its EV600 electric delivery van.
Yeah, so this is using GM's Ultium platform, which is its new platform for like all the things. Plus, it has a range of 250 miles, which is great for a delivery.
Yeah, that's pretty good for a delivery van.
I mean, most delivery vans are within city limits, and so they don't really go that far. It's just a bunch of stops, which is what takes forever. So I think they will have a smaller one. It's a EV410, but its 250-mile range is really good. Um, and FedEx, I think, is going to be the first customer,
Right.
which FedEx really needs to update their trucks. I don't know if you've seen a FedEx truck around. I feel like, to be honest, most of the times I see a FedEx delivery person, they're in a budget rental truck. I'm not even lying. Not even lying. It's a budget rental truck. I'm like, are they just like waiting to like buy electric vehicles? Like, why are they using budget?
Interesting.
Like, yeah, the budget moving company is is the trucks that they're using.
Well, because I see every day, I see, I see a FedEx van. It doesn't look that old.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of these.
So Verizon will also start using them for their deliveries. And the cool thing is, FedEx will actually start using them this holiday season. So you could be getting, probably not, but you could be getting your FedEx packages delivered with an electric vehicle. So just another electrification of the world.
Right.
Electrify all the things is my motto.
All right. So our main big topic, for the last 3 weeks, we've been talking about a major release from a major company as far as devices are concerned. And
Yeah.
so recently, probably the ones that we're least favorite or just not as excited about, I guess,
yeah.
least excited about is Amazon's line of products that they're releasing. And the first one here, which I don't even really get, but they are coming out with a robot, a little mini robot,
Yeah.
which they're calling the Amazon Astro.
Which is, everybody's giving Amazon a hard time about that. So it's like, so the Jetsons had a robot dog named Rosie, and their real dog's name was Astro. So it's like, why did they
Yeah.
do that?
Uh, so
Yeah. Keep going.
I was just going to say, I I've read this. I don't see why anybody would want this, to be honest with you, but
it's $1,000 or $1,500. I'm not sure what the difference is. That's not the article I have pulled up, so I don't know.
Okay, so and then it's it lives on the floor where it's gonna roll around and basically it can watch your house. I think is what I understand. It's kind of like a moving.
It's like
camera.
A surveillance robot. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can check on different rooms of your house by telling Astro when you're away from home, go to the kitchen, whatever room. You do have boundaries. You can tell it where there are no-go zones.
Okay.
And you do have the option of turning off voice activation or the mic, I should say, voice recording. So it's just not always capturing what's going on in your home, which is actually a problem with, I think, most of our devices anyway, whether it be Amazon or Google, whatever. They're recording pretty much, or they're always listening, I should say, whether or not they're recording. I do know that Amazon does keep a record of all your voice commands.
Yeah.
When it thinks it's saying you're talking to Alexa or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Google does as well, but I know for sure that Google lets you go in and delete them. I'm not 100% sure on what Amazon's policy is on that.
I know that you can download them. I'm not sure if you can delete them. I know you can go back and you can download a compressed file of everything that Amazon has on.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok on it, by the way. But
it must be true.
It must be true if it's on TikTok. If you don't know already, I do like my TikTok. Some interesting stuff on there, like listening to your Amazon recordings.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It doesn't get anything for you. It doesn't really do much for you. I don't get why you would want a tiny robot camera.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about this one. It's like all the Microsoft products are like, why does this exist?
Yeah.
I don't think I would want something that could roam around my house, and I guess follow me around. So it supposedly follows people around it doesn't recognize, but it does such a terrible job of actually figuring out who people are that it just follows everybody around. One of the people who worked on it called it a data collection privacy nightmare.
Yes.
It's also Vice has I guess they obtained some documents, leaked documents and videos of a developer meeting. And Vice reported that the robot is fragile and that several devices had broken. It does not do well around stairs and will throw itself down if presented the opportunity. These are quotes, which is awesome. They're calling it a disaster that's not ready for release. Here's my thing on Amazon in general. I feel like Amazon right now is a company, when they're making devices like this, they're a company that will literally just make something and throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Right.
They don't do any sort of like product research, I don't think. They literally like, what do we think is cool? Let's put it out. Does anybody else think this is also cool? Or they're like, how can we steal people's information, but also make it seem like it's a cool way to do it and maybe not seem like it's gonna do that? But
well, I think the good thing is that you can't just go to Amazon and buy it. It's by invite only. You got to request to be invited to purchase it.
yeah.
So don't go to Amazon thinking, oh, I'm going to get this new cool robot. I don't think you would think that anyways, but yeah.
I will definitely never get one of these devices. I don't trust Amazon in general. I think Amazon is kind of a sleazy company, but I would definitely not put a robot in my house that roams around. So I'm obviously a Google fanboy. I don't think I would even do that if Google made one. Like, I don't know. I'm even like a little, I think even robot vacuums are a bit sketchy. Like the ones nowadays, they can literally get a floor plan of your house from
Not
running
mine.
around. Not yours. Yours is not great. Uh, but it's like, who is using this information for some nefarious means? Like, I guess I just think of that all the time. I do have one of those robot vacuums that does that, but it doesn't have a camera or anything like that, so I'm not as concerned
Not that
about
you're
it.
aware
But
of.
yeah, that I'm aware of. I haven't gone in and tried to disassemble and figure out if there's anything in there, but I feel like someone would have found it out by now
Yeah.
because it's a neato robot. But yeah, I don't know. That just seems like a sketchy product. It kind of goes along with, and I'll just skip ahead a little bit to the last article. The Amazon is also accepting your applications for its home surveillance drone. I want to say a curse word so bad as like just a funny thing to say, but like WGF, like why do you need a drone that flies around your house to surveil your own house?
Yeah.
That's like the same thing. This is like a privacy nightmare for me. Like, I understand people think, "Oh, this is like a cool gadget." And I understand that fascination about it, but it's also Amazon. It's also made by Ring. And if you don't know this, Ring has a history of not selling, but giving your information to the cops and giving videos of your like doorbells to the cops.
Hmm.
So what's to say they won't do something like this if it sees something in your house that's like, wait a minute, did something bad just happen? Does it look like something bad just happened? Am I gonna like, is this somehow gonna get sent to somebody? I don't know. I just am a
Well,
little,
if it makes you feel better, this device, the hover device, cannot navigate stairs either. So
apparently they haven't figured out how to do stairs at Amazon.
yeah, so Amazon wants people with single stories to buy their products. Um, yeah, again, it's like what? Why do I need something that's going to hover around the house? Like, I mean, if I need, I can buy two cameras and probably cover the front and back door. I don't know. I just you can cover the most.
Yeah.
Why? Again,
I'm
it's just a.
I'm
I
the
don't
same
get
way.
it.
It's like I mean, people are kind of freaked out by cameras in their house. I think a lot of people are. Like,
Sure.
I don't want to be watched.
Right.
But if you are comfortable with that, usually you're gonna put cameras in the places you want to watch, and you don't need something to like, I don't know, look around the house for you. I don't understand the purpose of this. Also, the battery life is really short. So the flight time is like 5 minutes. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and already we know, and we've talked about this in the past. Amazon devices is already, some of them are already sharing your Wi-Fi. So, I mean, obviously, it probably wouldn't be that difficult for someone to get control of every Amazon device you have
yeah.
in your home. So,
I think so.
blank.
Here's funny. So I guess the CEO of Ring is like, the idea is it's very tactical. You don't need to go see that a door's ajar for 2 hours. It's meant to go out for a few minutes, see what you need to see, and then fly back. To me, I'm probably not going to use this. I guess the biggest use case would be if you're not at your house. Otherwise, you're just being lazy. Like, if you can't go up and check to make sure that you close the garage door, that's just laziness right now. Or your smart home's not smart enough to tell you that your
Right.
door is ajar. Mine would actually tell me, hey, the garage door is open, and I could just go and close it. So this is just like, the
Yeah,
usefulness to this just seems really weird to me.
it is. It is. Well, it's, as you've already stated, it's Amazon.
Look for your next B movie horror story, now including the the Amazon, what do they call this? Always home cam, where it flies around your house and attacks you. That'll be
That's
the next
awesome.
B movie horror on Netflix soon.
Which
Coming
and
soon.
it probably will be filmed or recorded on that camera
Yeah, it'll take
in
forever because they can only
in
film
5 minute,
at a time.
yeah. 5 minute
It'll be a
segments,
short.
but all right. So we're going to move on to the new Ring Alarm Pro, which combines a
Okay.
security system and an Eero router. I know you were taking a while to read this
I spent a
article
long
here.
time on this article because I highlighted things and whatnot. It took me like 20 minutes to read. So most of these articles that I pull are from TheVerge.com. Like I said, I recommend checking them out. They are very well detailed, very informative in what they put in their articles, not just about this kind of stuff, but in general. But this device, the Ring Alarm Pro, combines Ring's security system with an Eero router, Wi-Fi router, 24/7 internet backup, local processing for your local processing and storage for your Ring
Storage.
cameras.
Mhm.
So it's combining a bunch of different devices together, but also adding um, local processing and storage, which I guess Ring cameras didn't have before. Everything went to the cloud, which is kind of how the Nest cameras have worked until they released their newest one, which did all the processing locally and had some on-device storage. So this base station now includes a new processor. I'm trying to, sorry. It is the Ring Alarm Pro costs $249 just for the base station, or $300 for an 8-piece security kit, including a contact sensor, which is like a
For your
door
door
open
or
close.
window. Yeah.
Yeah, a motion detector, a keypad so you can arm and disarm, and a Z-Wave range extender, which I believe in this case is probably for all of their sensors are run off Z-Wave, which is pretty normal for a security system. I know my security system, all the contact sensors are Z-Wave devices. And if you're not familiar with that, Google it. There's tons of information about it. So along with the new hardware comes new subscription packages. The new Ring Pro Protect Pro subscription is $20 a month or $200 a year if you pay up front. Designed for use with the new Ring Alarm Pro and only the Ring Alarm Pro, I believe. This particular subscription includes the local storage feature. The local storage feature is not free. You cannot bypass paying for their like cloud storage by just trying to do local storage. You still have to pay the $20 a month. Includes 24/7 internet backup. So that to me is kind of one of the more interesting features. So if your internet does go out, even for just like a short amount of time, supposedly that will be backup for your whole network for a short amount, for up to 3 gigs included in the $20. Or if you want to pay, I think it's like $3 a gig after you reach that 3 gig limit. So it's not like going to keep you sustained for a long time, but I think it's good in a really good emergency situation when the power goes out or something.
And I don't see here. Maybe I'm just missing. Is it going to be like? Is that like cell phone data?
Yeah, so it's cell phone data. That's the backup internet option. It's LTE.
Which personally, I'm in a bad spot. So I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if that
mean
would
it
work
won't work
personally
for
for me.
everybody for sure.
Right.
And it doesn't say. I don't think it says which carrier it works off of. I may have just missed that part, but I don't think it actually tells you. A lot of times it's AT&T. AT&T kind of provides the backbone for a lot of these systems. I know my alarm company uses AT&T for their backup. But it also includes an Eero secure subscription, which the Eero routers, Wi-Fi routers are, they're pretty cool. A lot of people really like them. The secure subscription adds a lot of features. I think like parental controls and things like that. Lets you block ads and things to all your devices if you want to. So them kind of throwing that in there for the $20 a month is kind of like a nice little addition.
Right.
In addition to the cloud storage, you'll also get professional monitoring. Not for your cameras in this particular package, but it'll do the professional like alarm monitoring for you as part of the $20 a month. Alexa Guard Plus, which I'm not familiar with that, and I'm not going to get into it because it literally took me 20 minutes to get through this article, let alone all the side little things here and there. So they also announced a portable version of the Ring Alarm Pro, which I think to me is a little more interesting. Designed for job sites such as construction sites.
Yes.
Because I know that theft at construction sites is a huge problem. People getting windows broken to steal tools and all sorts of stuff. Or just like bathtubs and hot water heaters and copper and all. It's crazy. So the system leverages the cellular connectivity and the Eero Wi-Fi capabilities to keep cameras and sensors online in places where you might not have internet up and running yet. And it's all packed into like a portable package. It's called the Ring Job Site Security Kit.
It's like a toolbox.
Yeah, so it's $400 and can be pre-ordered at HomeDepot.com. I think to me that's a more interesting product.
Cool.
I mean, I don't care about a lot of this other stuff, and I'm not going to have a job site anyways. But I could see that being super useful for construction sites because I mean those are always vulnerable to that kind of issue. So in the Ring Alarm Pro, it includes 2 Ethernet ports. So you can plug in, probably one of them is for the plugging into your cable modem, and the other one's plug into the network. So you could expand beyond the one hardwired port. It'll have Bluetooth for setup, a Z-Wave radio, obviously for all the sensors, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi 6, which is the new Wi-Fi standard, LTE, and a 902 to 928 megahertz radio, which apparently is sidewalk ready, but is not turned on. I think sidewalk is an Amazon feature, and I don't remember exactly what that is.
Is that the one that shares your internet up out to the sidewalk, like as a guest? It doesn't limit your network, but I think it lets.
Yeah, I think that's right. Because I think we talked about this, and I was like, turn it off.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh no, so it's their low bandwidth Internet of Things network. So their Amazon Sidewalk is kind of like is the equivalent to Apple's Find My network.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing. So they're hoping that there are enough sidewalk ready devices that they can essentially turn it on all at the same time. Boom, they've got a huge network where they can then sell you a bunch of like Tile trackers. I think Tile is part of that sidewalk network, or it's going to be, which is a tracker. So, I mean, one of the big features is it's got the Wi-Fi router built in, which is kind of one thing that I've been wanting Google to do for the longest time, because it's like they have their Google Nest Wi-Fi devices, and then they have all these smart home devices. It's like, why have they not created a smart home / Wi-Fi package together? And Amazon was just like, you know what, we're gonna do that. we're gonna do it before anybody else does it. So Samsung does have a system that's pretty similar to this. And I think the Samsung one is a little more open because it includes their SmartThings hub, which has more interoperability with a bunch of different smart home systems. So if I were to get one, I'd probably go with that one just because I think it's more universal versus this one is definitely you're locked into the Amazon ecosystem. So that's kind of a downside in my opinion. So some of the bigger changes on the Ring side is that the new base station can now be a hub for Ring cameras. So with that new processor, the devices can do local processing. My brain is not working. This article broke my brain today. is so long, and I just don't care about it. Uh,
I love it. I love it.
yeah. So, and the local processing means it can do vision-based events alerts now, which they're calling Ring Edge. So instead of sending the video to the cloud and analyzing it and tell you, hey, you've got a package, or this is a person, or this is a dog, or there's barking, or something like that. It can do it all on that hub without ever having to leave your network, which saves you some bandwidth, so that you're not having to use as much by sending all that video up to the cloud.
Right.
The local storage is through a removable micro SD card slot, which to me is kind of a downside. Micro SD cards are they do have a wear limit on them, but so they'll wear out faster than
Right.
like a hard drive or something like that, or SD, or not SD, but like a flash drive, not a, oh my God, flash storage like an SSD or something.
Right.
But a 64 gig card can hold up to 47 hours of clips, and that is included. And then you can use up to a 512 gigabyte micro SD card. Like I said, this is not a workaround for paying that $20 per month. You still have to pay that for this to actually work. But it just helps, not use as much bandwidth. So the Ring Alarm Pro works with a new Ring Power Pack. This is kind of interesting to provide longer uptime. And its high-speed LTE connection can keep your whole Wi-Fi network online, like I talked about earlier, not just the alarm system. So normally, the LTE backup for an alarm system is just that. It's just to make sure if someone cuts your internet or your power goes down or something, there's always a battery in an alarm panel anyways,
Right.
that you're still able to protect your house for at least a little bit of time. But with this power pack that they're including, it's like an 8,500 milliamp hour battery, first of all, which is pretty huge, and costs $130. But it connects to the device, to the box, and you can stack, like, I think 3 of these together. Each one of those battery packs gives you 8 hours of battery life. You can daisy chain up to 4 packs to keep your system up and running for a little over 2 days. That's pretty impressive.
That's crazy.
You could literally have a really long, like, power outage, internet outage, and you could be like the only one on the block still surfing the web. Granted, everybody would still have their phones, but you could still use your TV or make sure your cameras are still streaming, things like that,
Right.
to make sure your home is protected. So, I mean, that's a pretty cool feature. Like I said, there is a 3 gigabyte data limit, with the option of extra data for $3 per gigabyte. So it's gonna cost you if you really start using that.
Right. Yeah. I don't know that you'll be watching TV with.
Yeah. No. I mean, in an emergency, yeah. It's hopefully that's not what you're using it for, but you can if you really don't care about spending the money. You can also designate which devices you want to stay online. So maybe you just want your security cameras to stay online. You can say, hey, I just want these security cameras to stay online. I don't care if anything else has internet. So, I mean, that's great if, emergency situation, maybe you're not home or something and you still want to watch your cameras. That's pretty cool. But everything is bundled into that Ring Protect Pro plan. Pretty much that Ring, what did they call this device again? The Ring Alarm Pro is pretty useless without that $20 a month Ring Protect Pro plan. So if all those extra features are not worth it to you, or you don't want to pay the $20 a month, this is kind of like a no-go. Also, if you don't want to be locked into the Amazon / Ring / Eero world, is probably not the platform for you either. But I mean, it is, and I'll say it again, this is something I want to Google to do for a long time, because this would be nice just to have like one device for everything. But having everything in one box is just, I mean, it can be a game changer. If you're an Amazon home anyways, and you want all these features, I mean, now it's just like I may not go out and buy it right away, but it's like the next time I need to buy something, it's like I'm just going to buy that box, and now Amazon's locked you into their platform first of all, which is good
Right.
for them, but also, I mean, it's kind of probably saved you some money at the same time to do that versus having to buy all those disparate products.
Yeah, and considering it is Ring and Amazon, I mean, $20 a month for all this extra and monitoring. I mean, that's not a bad price.
No, it's not. Monitoring normally costs you more than $20 a month. So
Right. So I think that's. I mean, if you like you said, if you already have this in your setup or you're looking for whatever reason to get into Ring and Amazon, I think this is uh, pretty nice for what it is. And
just remember, Ring will give you your camera feed to the cops if asked for it.
But I'm pretty sure Google is going to be right behind with something similar very, very shortly.
They might. I would hope that with the new smart home standard, which is Matter, that's supposed to start coming out next year. My guess is they'll probably do something around fall of next year. If they were to do something, next year would be the time to do it with Matter included in there. And then they've essentially got a box that can control any device that's Matter compatible, which will include almost everything because all the big players are getting into Matter. Apple, Samsung,
Right.
Amazon. Supposedly, they haven't confirmed whether they are or not for sure. Google is. The Philips Hue light bulbs. Pretty much everybody that's anybody is trying to get in with Matter because having that one smart home standard, I think, is going to change the game for everybody.
Definitely. And, talking about Ring and paying for services, Ring also revealed
Speaking of letting someone watch your cameras,
you can actually pay for someone to watch your security cameras 24 hours a day.
how much is that, Jeremiah?
$99 a month on top of the $20 that you're already paying for the Ring
What
Protect
a steal!
Plus. $100 a month. You can have someone. You can choose what cameras are monitored in your Ring alarm system, and when a camera detects a motion event while the Ring alarm is armed, the monitoring company will be alerted and responds based on what it sees. So there is an agent that will use a series of guidelines and your preferences to tailor a response and can use these features like the camera's two-way talk with the visitor, turn on the siren, send in emergency services. I mean, you set it up kind of what you want to happen. But that's a big price to pay.
Also, and just to be sure everybody knows this, you can only enroll your outdoor cameras at launch for obvious privacy concerns.
Obvious.
Could you imagine walking through your house naked or something, or in your underwear, and all of a sudden some agent's like watching you, and you're like, this. I'm paying $100 for some pervert to now freely get to watch me. This seems strange. Usually, like they'll go to jail. Now they're being paid monthly for this.
I think. Well, I mean, you're not actually paying for someone to watch that camera. From what it sounds like, there's a notification that happens when it catches movement. So I guess if you're walking naked, that would send a notification. But
yeah,
an agent gets notified, then they turn on the camera to your outside location, and they can use a two-way talk. That way, if someone looks kind of rowdy or looks like they're going to steal a package instead of deliver one, they can communicate with them.
They're like, "Hey, are you going to steal that package, or are you delivering that package?" I'm just delivering it. I'm just reverse delivering it. So,
it's the wrong house. We got to take it back.
Don't mind me. Don't call the cops. This is also in early access starting today. And by today, I mean Tuesday, September 28th.
I get notifications when my camera catches movement. So, and I have two-way talk. So I guess unless Maybe this is for the individual that's very busy and very worried about security, that they don't check their phone, or can't go to the two-way talk or watch live what's going on. You could pay $100 a month.
So the concept here is to take the onus of responding to your camera's motion alerts off of you and put it on to someone else. If your Ring alarm sends you a notification at 2 a.m. that there's a person out back, chances are you're going to miss it. Or if you see it, you're never getting back to sleep. Now the virtual security guard can view the event that triggered the alert. And if it turns out to be a non-event, you get to stay tucked up in dreamland.
That would freak me out, to be woken up by hearing two voices outside talking and having a conversation about being outside of my door.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no thanks.
Apparently, though, Ring has a pretty bad track record when it comes to Ring employees viewing the camera footage.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine that this is a high-paying gig, right?
Yeah, right. Probably not going to be a high-paying gig. It's probably going to be like a minimum wage situation.
Right. Which, doesn't mean that people that have this kind of job aren't going to do a good job. You'll have people that will, but you're also going to have that range of
disgruntled employee or somebody.
Right. Or just doesn't care. And how well is it going to work is a big concern, I think, for me anyways.
Yeah. Good news, they're doing background checks for the monitoring agents, and I'm also reassured by the bias training they are giving them. I don't know of another company that does that. This gives me real comfort that this product will not peddle bias, which is a big plus. Here's the deal with these background checks. I work with HR at our company. Background checks, they're not the greatest thing in the world. You still get a lot of really terrible people that can pass a background check.
Right.
That does not put my mind at ease.
No. It makes me want to go and start a virtual security guard company and have people pay $50 a month and let me watch their cameras for them.
Ooh.
I could do this.
You could.
I don't know. Obviously,
that's a definite no-go for me, and I would recommend no one ever subscribe to that.
Yeah.
As bad as Ring has been with giving your camera feeds to cops and letting their employees watch unencrypted videos and share them in the office, I don't know if I would trust Ring with my video needs. That's kind of just me, though.
Well, that's probably most people.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of Ring camera owners. So.
Well, but I think that's because they don't know.
That could be.
They don't know because
we're letting you know right now.
Make an informed decision.
Yes.
That's what we're telling you. Make an informed decision.
Use this information wisely. Choose wisely.
Yeah. All right. What do we got next?
The Echo Show 15. This one I actually kind of like. I actually have a similar device that I bought from Lenovo. It's not hanging on my wall right now, but I do have it sitting next to me. I mainly bought it for the picture frame option so I could do my Google Photos on a 20-inch screen that hangs on the wall. It looked really good, so I bought one for my dad, and he really enjoyed it. And once I saw it on his wall, I was like, oh, the pictures look really good on it. And I was like, I kind of want to be able to see all the photos that I've taken on a big screen. So I kind of bought something. So it's similar to this. It does let you do like Post-it notes, and I don't think it'll let you do the calendar, but I don't know how comfortable I would feel giving Amazon my calendar. Once again, I don't trust Amazon. What's that?
I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking Google. I was like, Google already has your calendar.
No, Google. Yeah, Google is my calendar. This is a $250 Echo Show 15. It's obvious. It's essentially just like a bigger version of their show devices. I think they might have like a 10-inch Echo Show right now.
Right.
I think was their previous largest one. It supports full HD resolution streaming from Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, and others. Amazon also announced that TikTok and Sling TV support is coming to its entire line of smart displays.
TikTok.
Get excited. I don't know why you would do it on that screen instead of your phone. You can. You can. So, and the way they have this configured, and I'm assuming you can probably maybe change this, but I don't have an Amazon device, so maybe I'm wrong. They have pictures kind of displaying on the left-hand side, calendar at the top right. They have like a to-do list on there, a shopping list, and then also it looks like you can have like smart home features as well as like post-it notes or different things. I'm assuming if you own an Amazon Echo Show, you probably already know what I'm talking about. This is just a 15-inch version of it. And it looks like a picture frame, which to me is the best part because it looks like it can hang on the wall. So obviously it's not wireless. So if you're looking at this, you're going to have a cord hanging down from your wall.
Right.
So you have to work around that. It is a thin cord, so it doesn't look terrible. But it's got, I'm assuming I shouldn't assume things.
Yeah.
I don't know what the frame is made out of. I'm assuming it's metal, but that's the thing I don't know if I should actually assume.
Please don't.
15 inches seems a little small for me. That's what she said. I feel like the one that I got is like a 21-inch. I feel like even that's kind of small for like the pictures, which is mainly what I got mine for.
Sure.
So I guess if you know what you're getting into with an Echo Show, then it probably is, good for you. It looks like you can rearrange what tiles are showing what information on it, but it also has a video camera built in, so you can do video conferences. I think you can also show your Ring cameras. They'll pop up on there as well. You can also kind of cast to it like you would cast to an Apple TV or a Chromecast or one of Google smart displays. So that's kind of a nice feature. So you can show different things on there. So yeah, I mean, it's an intriguing device. I wish Google would kind of release an official version of the Lenovo thing, but has like their smart home stuff built into it. So you could actually, like the one I have is not a touchscreen. This is definitely a touchscreen. So you can actually interact with the display. So looks, it looks pretty nice. Looks like a picture. I would recommend, if you like Amazon Echo shows, then this is kind of just like a bigger, better version of what you already have.
Yeah. It could come in handy.
It could.
Next, Amazon has released the Amazon Glow, which is
not to be confused with the app that is also called Glow, which I think is for tracking your period.
Is that what that's for?
I believe it is.
So this is a video chat gadget with built-in games to keep kids engaged. So it's a video conferencing device that also has a tablet projector built into it. So the idea is to get your younger children get quickly bored with video chats and wander off, leaving their remote relative staring at an empty screen. Is there a market for this?
I don't know, to be honest.
So the Amazon Glow can project games, books, or puzzles onto the table that kids and their parents or grandparents can play together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of nice, I guess. But for $300, basically, I'm going to buy a device that allows my children to stay at their spot and look at the table as opposed to looking at the camera and having a conversation with me.
Yes. It's only a video chat system, which is kind of weird.
and it's huge.
It is pretty huge, but I think that's because they have to put a projector on there that can also read where your finger is on the table. They keep showing it with like this mat. Like you can't just project it onto any surface, but you need like a white surface, which to me means that their projector's probably not very good.
Right.
I don't know. It's almost like it takes some of the Amazon tablet functionality. There are Fire tablets for kids. It kind of just makes it, I don't know, tabletop. Because I think you can also just play with the tablet without being on a video conference. So I mean that's.
Well, someone's watching you while you play.
It always feels like somebody's watching me.
It projects a 19-inch screen down on a flat white mat that comes with the device.
Yeah. Don't worry. The same Ring employee that is monitoring your cameras will not be watching you through this, supposedly.
And Amazon promises that this is relatively easy to clean.
I don't know if they've met my kids.
Ooh.
A lot of things that are supposed to be easy to clean end up being like, oh my God, like how is this stuff on here? What is this stuff on here? And how do I get it off? Because water in a towel are not taking this off.
Yeah. Some of the games that will be included are like chess and checkers, Go Fish, Memory Match.
They're great kids games, chess and checkers.
Yeah. Well, they're hoping that it, I guess, accommodates older children as well. But
I don't see a huge market for this. I think, like you said earlier, this is going to be a real small niche. I don't know anybody that uses Amazon's video chat platform. I'm assuming you have to use specifically. I don't know if it says what video.
I do not see that.
It will also only work with other tablets. It will not work with your phone. So it can be like an iPad or an Android tablet or an Amazon Fire tablet, which is just a rebranded Android tablet with way less features and not the Google Play Store. It can't even communicate with another Glow. You can't have one of these on the other end and do a chat with it.
Well, how would you play the game?
The person with the tablet. The other person has to have a tablet.
Oh.
That's why it has to be a tablet. Could you imagine that being on a phone screen? The game would be so tiny.
That's terrible, Amazon.
It does have a physical privacy shutter. So that's good. Yeah, this is going to be sold to like 12 people.
All Amazon employees.
No, they're the ones who aren't buying it because they know the privacy issues.
Wow. Yeah. I want to move on. I'm tired of that one.
Please do. Amazon is coming after Fitbit. They are making a new wearable and new services to try to make you fitter, not fatter. It's called the Halo View. It's a follow-up to, I think, their Halo Band fitness tracker. You can tell I don't really follow Amazon products. I am slightly out of the loop on this. It does come with a color AMOLED display.
Ooh.
And a year of Amazon's Halo membership, which is required to access the tracker's more advanced analytics, which is pretty similar to Fitbit. Fitbit, to get some of the more advanced analytics, you have to subscribe to their subscription. That seemed redundant. So this can gather a ton of biometric data, including your heart rate, blood oxygen level, and skin temperature. It will not be gathering your voice data like the previous generation did. Amazon has dropped the microphone, but it It can also do sleep tracking and alert you to text messages with a haptic motor. Comes in 3 colors, black, green, and purple. Those are always my favorite colors. And you will be able to buy additional bands, so you can probably change those colors in the future.
Of course.
Including ones made out of fabric, leather, and metal. It will have 7 days of battery life and can be charged in 90 minutes.
That's impressive.
Especially if you like to track your sleep. That will come in handy.
Yeah.
So Amazon says it'll be shipping in time for the holidays, so this is going to be a great Mother's Day gift to let her know she's fat and she needs to work out.
Mother's Day.
Sorry. Mother's Christmas gift. Just in time for the wrong holiday, Craig. The Halo membership after that first year free will cost you $4 a month to access the advanced features like Amazon's body composition scanning, activity point system, sleep analysis, Alexa integration, where Alexa devices can give you information that Halo collects, and more.
So you can ask Alexa,
how fat am I today?
Right.
And it'll be like, you weigh 201,000,000 pounds.
Too much.
Halo Fitness will include hundreds of cardio, strength, yoga, outdoor, and mobility classes led by Halo coaches. Similar to Apple Fitness Plus, you'll also be able to see metrics like heart rate from your Halo band overlaid on the video, though that functionality won't be available when the service launches later this year. Amazon will also have Halo Nutrition. It includes a collection of recipes from companies like Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers doesn't call themselves Weight Watchers anymore, by the way.
No,
they just
they
call
don't.
themselves WW.
Yeah.
LifeSum and the Amazon-owned Whole Foods, and includes Alexa integration, because everything Amazon sells includes Alexa integration. If you're planning on making a recipe, you can add the ingredients to your Alexa shopping list. Amazon says the Halo Nutrition will be available in January 2022. Just for the start of your New Year's resolution. That is not in the article, but I thought I would throw that in.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Both
Greg.
nutrition and fitness will be available to customers who have original Halo band, as well as they'll live in the Halo app. Get excited about that Halo View smart device. Does it say how much it costs? $80.
$80. Of all the devices that we've talked about so far, this is probably the best.
You think this is the best one?
Of what we've talked about so far? Yeah. There's no microphone. They're just tracking my steps.
Yeah, but it knows exactly where you are in your house. So now it can use this data with the Alexa data, with the Ring Pro cameras, and the Eero Wi-Fi to geolocate you to know where you are within like millimeters.
Oh, I'm sure. But of all the devices that we've talked about so far, the one that I would purchase would probably up to this point be this one.
Yeah, I could. So I think if you've never bought a Fitbit, I would probably never see anybody buying this. Like that's the same crowd that they're going after.
Sure.
Most people, if they have an Apple iPhone, they're just going to buy an Apple Watch, right?
Right.
If you're just using this for fitness tracking, there are probably better ones that do better fitness tracking than this does. Amazon does not have a great record with that kind of stuff. It's probably made by some Chinese manufacturer somewhere in China. But
did you ever see the map of Fitbit users? You know how I don't know if they still do this, but they used to be, you could see on a map like where Fitbit users are traveling.
Oh, like different trails and things?
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Antarctica map?
I have not.
There is a Fitbit map. Of course, it's not on their website anymore. It was deleted, but there are images of it in Google, whatever. But you can find where Fitbit users were on Antarctica, if you like that sort of stuff. Okay. And the last article,
I feel like we're going out on a whimper here,
is where Amazon takes on the Nest, which is the Google product, for they do a little bit more than thermostats, but I guess most people would think Nest. They think thermostat. A $60 smart thermostat,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting. That's a pretty good price point. I think the Nest costs a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, Nest is not the only smart thermostat out there.
No.
You're up.
I have one. I don't have a Nest. I do not have a Nest. I bought an off-brand one.
Oh, so it's not like Ecobee or anything?
No, I don't even know what brand it was. I bought it off of Amazon.
Oh, of course.
But I don't have it working yet, so it doesn't have any power to it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Does
it not have the correct wires from your...
It does, but those wires are not connected to the proper place on the operating board in my unit in the attic.
Awkward.
Yeah.
So how do you control your thermostat?
I go up there and I push buttons.
Into the attic?
No. I mean, I have a thermostat, but it doesn't have. They're the old thermostats, right? So they're not connected to Wi-Fi. So to have a Wi-Fi enabled thermostat in my house, it has to have so much power coming to it.
Right.
And on the unit in the attic, one of the wires has to be connected to a certain spot for enough power to get to your thermostat to give it the Wi-Fi capability.
Okay.
Mine is not. Because I installed it, I put all the wires in the right place, but it didn't turn on. So it turned on. Did it turn on? I don't even know if it turned on.
I don't know, Jeremiah.
I'm gonna have to look back at it.
I was not at your house during this.
You weren't. You probably need to come. You need to come to my house anyway. But there's probably a lot of chores you could help me out with.
Are you gonna have a honey-do list for me when I show up?
Of course.
Craig, I need you to fix this, and this.
But enough about me.
Remember that ceiling fan that I told you we needed to work on? Yeah. So Alexa can help figure out when you're home and what the temperature should be. So I mean that's useful. So Nest has a similar system based around a lot of their devices. So like their Nest Protects, which are their smoke alarms, CO2 detectors, as well as like the cameras and things. They can tell if you're home or away. So this will use the Alexa devices in your house to figure out if you're there or not, and it can act on hunches to know if you are in the house.
I think I need a C-wire. No,
I think you maybe just need a different smart thermostat. Nest now is a $130 version of that.
Yeah, I think
I would recommend.
Yeah, the one I bought was like $60 maybe.
Amazon says this thermostat can be even cheaper if you apply utility provider rebates. Eligible customers can get Amazon Smart Thermostat for $10 and sometimes for nothing at all. However, bundling a C-wire or common wire adapter kit pushes the price up by $15 to $75. The company says it developed the new device in partnership with Resideo, the makers of Honeywell home smart thermostats. Amazon also confirmed it's ready to work with most existing 24-volt HVAC systems. Pre-orders for the $60 Nest or Amazon Smart Thermostat are open now with a listed retail release date of November 4th, just in time for Thanksgiving. Is that the one you got?
Fine. This is the one that I bought, obviously, a year ago, and is still sitting in my drawer. Vine Smart.
I think it's time to get a different one.
I think it may be. I don't think they'll take it back. But yeah, this is the one I got.
It's okay. Sometimes it's best just to cut your losses.
It is. I went value, and it
doesn't always work out.
It doesn't. So
the key is to admit when you failed.
Yeah, I'll have to take another look at it. I'll try it one more time before I give up on it, but I just wanted to show you what.
I hope to have a progress on the next episode to see if Jeremiah has figured it out or not. So
yeah, I'll keep you up to date. I think we went a little long on this one again because we had quite a few.
There were just so many fantastic Amazon products. We just had to cover all of them, and I don't think we even covered every single one that they announced.
Wow! So if you didn't catch our attitude towards Amazon products, I don't know what to say.
We're big fans.
So I hope you made it to the end, and if you did,
congratulations! You've got 2 internet points.
Leave a comment for us on YouTube, Geeking Out Ninjas. We're on Facebook. We're kind of on TikTok, but not really. But we're share us with your friends. Let everybody know where you're getting this awesome knowledge about Astro and these other products from Amazon, and share that ring is probably not what they should be using, and let them know that you heard it on Geeking Out Ninjas.
Ta-ta.